What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stoney Lonesome Farm YouTube channel. We're here at the farm. I've been wanting to do this for a couple years and never got around to it, so now I'm getting around to it. Tell you a little bit about the farm and take you on a little mini farm tour, and then hopefully future videos be a little bit more action. But we do pasture-raised pigs here, pasture-raised poultry. We don't do too much of either. I used to do about anywhere between 300 and 500 chickens a year. This year I'm not going to do too many. I'll explain why here in a minute. We do 6 to 12, sometimes more hogs a year. I do them in batches of about 6, so if I plan it right, we get about 12 done a year. So a couple customs out of each batch, and mostly do cuts. Got a farm store here, brick and mortar farm store here at the farm, which has done us pretty well for business. Got some layer birds, mostly a hobby for my wife. But this is the first year I'm getting into wheat. So doing some land-raised heirloom wheat. It's a turkey red, organic this year, hard red for milling. The idea is get to mill some flour, sell some flour. I got bakers that want flour. That's kind of replacing the chicken. Chicken last year I got hit pretty hard with predation, and the heat last year was real bad. We're here in south central Pennsylvania, a little bit more east than central, but southern part of York County. I'm right on the Maryland line, and last year it was pretty hot, and I work a full-time job. So does my wife, and I have a kid, and we got one on the way. So it wasn't possible every day of the week to make sure and get water out. Who is pulling in my driveway? Oh, the mail lady's here. Okay, so this turned into an unboxing video. Look at that. I ordered this the other day. I think I just got one off Amazon. You know, I've been also, in addition to what I was saying earlier, been doing hay for, I don't know, 6 years here. Moved in here to the farm in 2016. So sometime between now and 2016, started doing hay. And since then, never had a moisture meter, whatever. So now I got a moisture meter. Not that I really care. I got a different one coming for the wheat, but I figured it would, this is just a cheapie off Amazon. Grain moisture meter. I don't think I'm going to rely on this for the grain. I got a better one coming in for the wheat, but I'll use that for hay. Figured it'd be better than not having one at all. I haven't had one in, well, since 2016. Anyway, so back to where I was at. Chicken, probably still going to do about 150 birds this year, which is not a lot compared to a couple other people in the area, how many they do. But I'm going to keep a lot of them. The only reason I was only going to do like 50 and keep them for myself, for the family for the year. But there is a couple customers that really want some. So anyway, the wheat is taking over. I want to be able to mill the wheat, sell the flour. The bakers want it. There's not very many places in this region to get heirloom wheat flour, so it's kind of moving the farm in a different direction in terms of where I think there's growth. I'll always do hogs. I like doing hogs. I liked raising the birds. We do on-farm processing here under the USDA exemption, and that's what I hate doing. Never did like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's about the gist. I'll get into more detail as things go on throughout the year. I'm filling you in. It's going to be, vlog style, baling hay, tilling, planting, harvesting, hopefully harvesting. Wait till you see my combine. Anyway, that's about it. All right, so back there, that's my current house. It's a nice house. Right there, that was the old house. That's what I used to live in. It's falling apart. It's gonna get taken down this year. I had a kid and needed to get out of that house. Anyway, that pavilion thing there, that was the original house. That was 1877. Took that down in like 2016. That was about 1900. Summer house is 1877. Wagon shed. Back there, you can kind of see the smokehouse. That was in a pile of rubble when my old man bought the place in 2016. Had that restored. I tried to use that one time. I came back from New York on a fishing salmon run, and yeah, we didn't eat the salmon. I don't know what I'm doing. I was trying to. It's not really a cold smoke, but it's not really a warm smoke. Lost knowledge, lost practice. I watched the YouTube video, some old timer. Yeah. Anyway, here's my wagon shed and corn crib. So it needs repaired. I'm gonna repair this side here. This side here is gonna get repaired this year because that gravity wagon in the back, I usually store ear corn in it. But I was only cutting about an acre ear corn, acre and a half. I'm planting more this year. So if we grow anything, I'm gonna need more storage. So that's why we're fixing this. I say if we grow anything, because I don't farm conventionally here. I do organic practices. I'm not certified, but I do organic practices. So, organic fertilizer and stuff like that. Well, I'll go over some of that stuff when it's time to spray. Speaking of sprayer, there's my sprayer. 300 gallon, 40-foot boom. Look at it. Okay, so this was a debacle. This used to be hydraulic. Now it's PTO. Well, it's a totally different pump. I actually sold that hydraulic yesterday. Anyway, the one tractor I had that put out enough gallons per minute to run that sprayer has a small leak in the pump itself in the tractor. There's just too much going on with it. I don't want to get all of these. Anyway, wasn't going to work. None of the other tractors I have could run that. So I had to swap it out to PTO, which this PTO pump is actually meant to be mounted like kind of to the tractor, not to the pump. So we got an adapter there and I mounted the pump. It works. I did use that spray when I seeded my yard. In the new house there, I did run it and spray water through it. And yeah, so there's one of the Massies here. That's what I mow the pasture with. When I run chickens out on pasture if it needs mowed. My grain auger. I bought a bunch of stuff last year at auction, getting ready for this wheat. I don't know if any of it's going to be worth anything or if I'm ever actually going to use it, because you know how farming goes. I only planted about little over 4 acres of that wheat. Good thing about heirloom wheats, they're extremely hardy and adaptable. Root systems go real deep. There's a lot of bio benefits you get from running heirloom wheats. Downside is the seed is expensive, extremely expensive and hard to find. I went through Luttrell, got the seed from them. So Albert Lay seed is the actual brand. Went through a trail dealer over in Lancaster County. Anyway, oh look. So that's not actually a Massey gravity wagon, but as you can tell, I'm a Massey guy. So it needed paint when I got it, so we painted it red and gray and threw a decal on it. Now it's a Massey gravity wagon. There's the tractor there. That's my dad's. It's kind of a workhorse. It works. He doesn't use it a whole lot. I'll go through some of this other old junk equipment that I have. It's not, okay, so it's not all junk, but it all works. We'll say that. Moldboard plow. So planting clover over there next to my wheat. And just as a cover crop, it's gonna get moldboard plowed. This one, little 2-bottom, I kind of accidentally bought it at auction. I put a bid in online at an auction up the street. I got an email like later that week saying I won. So I went and picked it up. Didn't really need it. I'd already got that 4-bottom. I got the 4-bottom in between the time that I bid on the 2-bottom and the time I got the email that I won that. There's my chisel plow. It's a 10 tooth, 10 tie, whatever you want to call it. It was a 14, but I didn't. The guy that was running 14 had duals on his, and I didn't have duals. It was right about the same horsepower. He had a little bit more horsepower than I did too. Oh yeah, there's my disc, 12-foot road disc. Check out this weld job. So I got this dirt cheap last year. Worked great first couple passes. And then I broke this whole hub assembly broke off. So let me see if I can get the camera in there. Ugh. Yeah. I'm not the world's greatest welder, but it's on there now, and it finished discing. So maybe it'll hold the rest of the year. Cultipacker, I picked that up with the disc because I have because I don't have a no-till grain drill. I had, and we do kind of organic practices here. I can't do certain things, but you got to work the ground pretty good. It's a John Deere 8300 that comes in handy when I was planting wheat. There's my hay tedder, or kicker, some people call it. Either way, we ted hay with it. It's pretty old. Here you can see here. There's the make and model and the patent number. It's kind of old when they put patent numbers on it. All right, so here is back side of the barn. I didn't show you the front side of the barn. Here's my barn. It's a pretty big barn. It's like my favorite part of the farm. Oh, and I missed that. Bought that there at auction too. I don't know if I can zoom in. I can't zoom in. That grain bin. Bought that same auction. I got that grain auger. Yeah. Anyway, there's nothing in it now. It's for storing wheat. Maybe later next year I'll do buckwheat. But I probably won't need it. We're going to store it in totes. We'll get down it. We'll cover that when we get there. Anyway, another grain bin that had shell corn in it. So back here is part of the hog pasture. All that there just got disced up and reseeded in special seed for hog pasture. Northeast New England area. Bought this special seed. I don't know. It was a little expensive. It really wasn't any more expensive than buying grass seed anymore, as expensive as grass seed is. But it runs all the way back on the other side of what you can't see here. There's a creek that runs through, so I don't have to water them. Runs down over there and all the way back. That's what we run the hogs on. They start out. I'm gonna flip the camera around here. So when I get feeder hogs, because I don't breed, I get feeder hogs here. This is the feeder pen. I'll be getting new feeders here soon. I actually forgot to hit my breeder up and tell her I needed more, and I missed the windows. And now I gotta go with another breeder I've used in the past. That electric line running around the side there is to train them on the electric fence when they're small. So a couple weeks on that, then they get let out. And then they won't mess with the fence at all when they're on pasture. I've been doing it for a while now, and nobody messes with the fence. That white stuff is lime. I don't deal in cocaine. Unfortunately, I'd have more money than I do from farming. This is feed storage for the pet pig. Here is the mascot of the farm, Penelope. And that black one there is a little pot belly named Priscilla. Penelope's like almost 8 years old. She's about 580 pounds. She used to be about 650, and she got put on a diet because I was letting her get a little bit too fat. Okay, hay rake. Got that from my dad's uncle, Nick. I got a lot of stuff from him. He's gone now. But we shared the same birthday, and I miss him. Good old dude. Here's the rest of the fence. Here's the fields. You'll see more of the fields when I go out there to work them, but you can kind of see where hay runs along the woods there, and back pasture by the pond. You can kind of see it. We do hay back there too. You'll see it in the hay videos. All right. I can go down here in the bottom of the barn. The bottom corner at least. Oh, yeah. I need to do a little spring cleaning. That'll be one of the upcoming videos. That's left over from last year. Here's my brooder for my broiler chicks. I got broiler chicks coming in sometime in May, because I forgot to order them earlier this year, and I just ordered them this past week. And yeah, there was a lot going on in the wintertime, so I'm gonna get around to it. But we're gonna clean that out before the chicks get here. And oh, I'm gonna shut this door. Okay. Groundhogs, I mean, they get in no matter what anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. There's a tiller. Use that on occasion. That was one of my old man's purchases. We're in the top part of the barn here. Typical German style bank barn. Pennsylvania Dutch style. All right, anyway, there's one of the other Massies. Oh, there's Taco, the barn cat. He got dropped off last week. Seems to be a good cat. All right. There's one of the 35s. That came from Mick. Oh, tire's got a leak. I need to do some. It's springtime, fellas. We're going to get some of this stuff ready to roll here in a couple weeks. Anyway, yeah, that came from Mick. My dad has it. It's 35. Runs great. This one also came from Mick. I'm not a big John Deere guy, but I did inherit this from him. And it runs really well. It's a John Deere 1520. I'll put a little memorial sticker there on. Runs great. Yeah, I'd paint it up, restore it a little bit when I got it. There's my grain drill, John Deere 8300, 13 feet. Did really well planting that wheat. So I got a pretty good deal on it last year. Planting that wheat in the fall. Didn't have any issues with it, other than figuring out exactly where the settings need to be, because they're a little bit off for pounds per acre. But there's my sickle barn mower. John Deere says what I cut all my hay with. I think it's a John Deere 250, 350. Okay. Anyway, it pretty much stays permanently attached to this one because it is a pain to get on and off of the tractor. Look at this radio. Well, I gotta show you this radio. Look at this radio. So Mick used to mow county roads with this. Oh yeah. Look at that. Radio still works like a dream. Anyway, in the back there, got my new idea corn picker. One row, also works pretty good. One thing I've learned is if the ground is wet, it will rip the stalks out and clog it up. North spreader, got that from Mick. Obviously, Mick was a John Deere guy. All right, I'm gonna go in here. Corn sheller, circa about 1880, 1890s. It has an electric motor on it now. I shelled probably 50, 60 bushel of corn with that. They put in that grain bin around back that you seen, that metal one behind the pigs. Yep, there's that. So this works, it moves. You can hear the fan, like the fan catches. I cleaned it out. It used to not even move, but the screen's up top. It doesn't clean. It wouldn't clean at all. The screens are shot. Got that at auction. There's a spare hog feeder. All right, let me switch this camera around here real quick. Okay, so remember I said about maybe we'll pick one. So granted, the wheat's got to grow. And it's got to be the right moisture. Then we got to pick it. So maybe we'll combine some wheat. But here's why it's a big maybe. There's my combine. A 1966 Gleaner E. I like Gleaner combines. I didn't really want one this old, but didn't have a whole lot of money, and this one came up pretty cheap. So I'll say affordable. I mean, these aren't very expensive to begin with. I replaced these. I put concaves in the cylinder. Well, below the cylinder. Cylinder's right there. You adjust the cylinder. Anyway, anybody knows combines, especially these old Gleaners, concaves are permanently mounted. They're bolted on up in past cylinder head. That was a job and a half. First off, I had to have a machine because they don't sell them anymore. Yeah, we got new concaves in it. Did a couple other small things to it. Runs great. Got an Alice Chalmers D12 motor in it. So funny thing, I don't really want to admit this, but so I'm not a big Alice guy. The only Alice D model I ever drove had a diesel in it. So I assumed all D models had diesels in it. So when I heard this had a D12 in it, I was like, cool. I start putting diesel fuel in it, fill the tank up. And as I'm putting the fuel in it, I look down and I'm like, that's a spark plug. That math don't math. So I went to the Google, did a little Googling, and well, wouldn't you know, it's a gas motor. Luckily, it's got an electric fuel pump on it, so it wasn't too easy or too hard to pump out. Yeah. Runs great. We got gasoline in it this time. Hay storage, we're almost empty over there. My cousin bought, I think all that. Yeah, just about all of it. Hay elevator, I got that for like $50 buying parts to fix my baler, which I'll show you in a different video. Guy wanted to get rid of that too, so picked that up. Corn planter, 2-row, John Deere. Used to be a 4-row. Wish it was still a 4-row. I'm only planting about 2 acres of corn, right? So that being said, it takes a minute. You wouldn't think, 2 acres of corn is that big of a deal. But there's guys that are out there. I got buddies planting 3,000 acres of corn this year, and they're probably going to end up taking almost just as long with their planters as what I got going on here with 2 acres of corn and a 2-row. We take our time because it's old, okay, and it doesn't always work right. So you got to take your time. I'm going to get that moisture meter before I leave that outside. Anyway, we'll save the tour of that building for a different video because we're coming up on like 20 minutes here for this one. But anyway, I got cold storage in the bottom. And it's like my shop. Keep a couple other tractors in there, my bigger tractor balers in there. And up top of that, on the upper side, is my farm store. Where that, we'll just do another video for that one. But farm store, and on the outside of the farm store is where it's probably going to be the grain mill, hopefully, or the flour mill. Mill and flour. We're almost there. It's getting set up. It's almost done. Let me put this down because I'm going to stop this video. Anyway. All right, well, if you stayed and watched the whole thing, cool. Make sure you give me a like, subscribe to the channel for all my ridiculous updates, pretending like it's 1970 here in 2025. You'd think it was if you come on a working day here. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Toodaloo.